Speaking of Lamar Jackson's been in the media recently for various reasons. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the biggest is contract negotiations and
Mhm.
free agency and being tagged. But
And him
he has
not playing
been,
on the last couple games of the season and traveling with the team as well.
yeah,
Yeah, all that.
a lot of things Lamar Jackson's been in the media about. And
Mhm.
recently, he has started coming to Twitter to clarify things. And, the first off, it was, I requested a trade on March 2nd.
Mhm.
You know, like the Ravens aren't meeting my value. You guys have read it. You guys know what he said. It was nothing negative towards the Ravens. It wasn't negative towards anybody. He wasn't like going out bashing people. But that's kind of what
Yeah.
he said. He was like, hey guys, I'm sorry I requested a trade. The Ravens haven't met my value. My goal is to win a Super Bowl. Like that kind of thing. Nothing wrong with that. And then people were calling him out and people were talking and the owners meeting happened. And it was like, oh, people aren't really going after Lamar. And the Patriots are heavily going after him. And then it's like, nah, the Patriots aren't heavily going after him.
Mhm.
Um, Lamar's come out because people have been talking about, well, Lamar Jackson's been injured and he's been injury prone. And
Mhm.
last year he refused to play due to money. And Lamar's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's not true. I played the first 12 games. I wasn't sitting out for money. Then I got injured. And remember, he spoke out on Twitter about the injury, about the PCL. And he was like,
Yeah.
I couldn't play. And he gave more clarification as to why he didn't travel with the team. Because that, understandably, now we knew, like, we weren't critical of this, him traveling with the team. We were like, he's focused on getting better, but we didn't have an exact explanation as to why that was the decision. He came out and he was like, when I traveled to Pittsburgh, it, caused inflammation and swelling. And he's like, I was trying to get better. Anything that could hinder my, rehabilitation or hurt my chances of coming back sooner. Cause like the thought is, yeah, what if we win against the Bengals? He wants to be back for that next game. So that's kind of why that happened. And again, very valid reason. I've never come after Lamar for not playing in that playoff game. It was fine. If you're injured, you're injured. But then one of my favorite players of all time. One of the best to ever do it. Maybe actually he is the best to ever do it. The best cornerback of all time. Uh, Great coach as well. Coach Prime came out and was like, Lamar, shut up. He didn't say that in those exact words. Basically, he was like, stop telling the idiots what you're doing. It doesn't matter. They're going to be idiots. Like that's kind of the whole message. And he's like, you don't have to explain yourself. You know who you are. We all know who you are. You're a superstar. And don't let these dumb people and their dumb comments make you have to like stoop down to that level of like just like dumb conversations, because Lamar was in a lot of dumb conversations today of people going after him and they were like calling him, someone called him a running back and he was like running back, quarterback, cornerback,
Yeah.
safety, and all that
Yeah. Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that guy tweeted out, I was like, come on, Lamar, we need you at left guard. Where were you? Um, but overall, it's just like he was coming out, and I feel like the question I have, for anybody listening is like, come on, get to the point. Lamar Jackson coming out and saying all of these things. Is it hurting him? Is it giving a bad perception? Is it just completely negligible and it doesn't matter? In my opinion, I feel like it is hurting him because I feel like he's right now in negotiations and it looks like from the outside like he's getting defensive and he's maybe getting a little bit frustrated.
Mhm.
Again, I don't think it's like that's a major deal. Like, come on, he's a superstar. He can do whatever he wants. I'm not saying Lamar can't tweet and come after these people, but I think like I like Deion's advice. That's what I'll say. I like Deion's advice coming from a very high profile superstar player saying, dude, people are going to be dumb. Don't talk to the dumb people. It's a good way to go through life. Don't talk to the people that are trying to drag you down. It's only going to bring bad energy.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I've seen some people say, some of the things he's saying and some of the moves that he's making is damn near desperate. Do I feel like it's a level of desperation? No, I don't. I just feel like that's a man defending himself. I mean, hell, we didn't see what's her name that just won. the WNBA championship, Kelsey Plum and others, pretty much speak about how they're being lowballed by the WNBA and just how they wish they got at least half of the salary of, some of the NBA other guys, some of the guys' salary. I mean, you can't be mad at someone for speaking up for themselves, whether it's high profile, low profile, medium profile, whatever. Like if someone constantly talks about you or constantly, speak on your name, which I applaud Lamar because it damn near took 5 years. Maybe, yeah, it damn near took 5 years of his NFL career where he's now, speaking up for himself. Now, do I feel like, some things shouldn't be said because of negotiation? Of course, I do feel like that because, at the end of the day, in the words of Marshawn Lynch, take care of yourself and get your chicken and get right. So I do want him to get his chicken and take care of himself. But, in this saturated field, that we in, especially with the sports world media, anything you say can be twisted. I don't know about you, McConnell, but I see on I Am an Athlete, when Lamar put out, that he requested a trade, I mean, pretty much requested, suggested, whatever, word that you want to use. He didn't demand one. He just pretty much said, like, hey, if we cannot meet in the middle, maybe it's best for me to go see what's out there and request a trade. I can see if it was just on some nastiness and Lamar just been tearing the organization down like a Le'Veon Bell or Antonio Brown, but it's not that type of energy. It's not that type of energy, which is a great thing. So, when people say, I don't know, the relationship can be salvageable, it can, because he hasn't gone off in a tirade yet. And threw Harbs under the bus, threw EDC under the bus, talked about Steve Bisciotti, talked about the whole organization as a whole. It's not like that. He's pretty much speaking up for himself. Do I feel like the Ravens in certain situations when it came to his injury? Should they have been real about that? Yes, because it shouldn't. In certain situations, the player should not have to come and defend himself. The same way they did with Rashad Bateman. A couple years ago, they did that with Ronnie Stanley. They knew Ronnie Stanley was not completely healed, but they rushed him out there game one, and he had to be out for the rest of the season. And they try to say, "Oh, it's week to week or day to day." No, if you know that man's hurt, say, "Hey, man, listen, we lost our All Pro tackle for the season, but we're gonna keep on working and keep on getting better." X, Y, Z. Hey, our quarterback is down, but he's in the facility working hard, rehabbing X, Y, Z, trying to get ready so he can come back, and be Lamar Jackson, that we all know and love, things of that nature. There is a certain level, like, yo, if you're my coach, if I'm part of this organization, you are supposed to protect me to a certain extent. And with Lamar coming out, speaking for himself, there may be a level of protection that he feel like he doesn't have from the organization. So, but I mean, I respect Deion Sanders. When a legend reach out to you in a respectful manner and try to coach you up, you gotta respect what he's saying. And I respect his delivery. It wasn't derogatory or nasty. And like you said, McConnell, you just pretty much say, hey man, let the haters talk. You pretty much know who you are, you know what you're trying to do, and people are going to try to tear you down because you're going about things in an unconventional way. So prepare yourself because all things are going to work in your favor. If you just stay level.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I think like Lamar Jackson has every right to say whatever he wants to say. And it's just like, I think all of it comes down to perception. Fan perception may be different from media perception, which may be different from teammate perception, which may be different from Ravens organization perception to all the other general managers and owners and coaches and other players in the NFL and their perception. The Ravens may be looking at what he's saying and be like, yeah, he wasn't hurt. Let's go. Yeah, like tell him. But then maybe Bill Belichick, who is a very notorious stickler, may be looking at that and be like, no, I don't want my quarterback going out and doing that.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's like, okay, maybe the Patriots are kind of turned away, not turned off, but like maybe they're just kind of like, I don't want to see that, right? Like Tyler Huntley doing a QB sneak from the 3. Like, come on, just keep that away from me. Don't want to see that.
Right.
It's just like everything that you do is going to have perceptions. And when you're in, the thing is right now, perception, I think, is very valuable to Lamar
Mm-hmm.
and how these teams are viewing him because he's trying to negotiate a trade. And he's not playing football right now to make them change perception, right? The only thing that he can do to change perception is things that he says, things that he doesn't say, and if like somehow something happens in the offseason. Like those are the only things. It's not like you're playing. It's like, man, Lamar just threw for 5 touchdowns, and Lamar Ravens are maybe like, you know what? Yeah, let's get our guy. Let's sign him. Boom, we'll agree to it. So it's just like maybe it's working, maybe it's not. We can't say. We're not Eric DaCosta. We don't know. We're not general managers, but also I think again, whenever someone as good as Deion Sanders and as smart as Deion is,
Mm-hmm.
Deion's a very successful coach. I wish him the best at Colorado. I don't wish him the best at Colorado. They play in the Pac-12. I hope they lose to Stanford every year. Except for against Stanford, I wish them the best. I feel like he's good to listen to. Like I feel like it's like, okay, you know what? That's someone that I respect and I'm going to listen to him. But you also don't have to. He's his own guy. He's going to do what he wants. He's going to go after the people that he wants. It's okay. I don't think ownership perception of Kevin Durant is very low. I think they view him as very high. They view him as a superstar, right? And general managers view KD and it's like, man, that's a superstar. I want him on my team. But fan perception, and I'm saying KD because he'd be after it on Twitter. Fan perception is pretty low. And that's not just because of Twitter. It's obviously because he left OKC and then Golden State, and he's left a lot of teams. But people keep bringing him in. Why? Because the team's perception is we want this guy. But fan perception is this guy sucks. We don't like him. Whether or not he's good as basketball has nothing to do with it. I don't want Lamar to get to the point of KD where, like, I love KD, but a lot of people hate KD because of what he does just completely off the court. And just because like he goes after people on Twitter. And that's something Lamar's doing. Again, nothing wrong with it. Apparently, maybe 2 of my favorite players are going to start doing that with KD and Lamar, but we'll see.
I mean, but you know what to think about that though. The thing about NBA and NFL players, NBA players they have more of the free range to be able to speak for themselves and be who they are. NFL, to a certain degree, if you step out of line, you're gonna get taught. In other words, you're gonna get taught, who exactly who you are. And do I feel like, with everything that's going on, it's showing? Yeah, it is. I'm not saying this is about to be a Colin Kaepernick situation, but or anything of that nature, or him being blackballed out of the NFL. I'm not saying that, but right now, this is definitely this is a situation where Lamar has to try to play it smart the best way possible instead of letting what the media says get to him. I understand as a human being, you want to shut the people up. Right now, the best way is when it comes August, September, it's getting on that field, doing what you say you want to do, stay healthy, and put up them crazy numbers that we know you can. Either whether it's for the Ravens or for the Commanders, even the Colts, who knows? You just got to continue building your legacy in this NFL, and keep on working at it, because it's going to be someone else that comes in that's going to be on your coattail trying to be better than you or take your spot at the end of the day. But shout out to Deion Sanders. He was one of the first guys that spoke to him, when he got drafted. So that's
might have been the
reason.
First guy.
Yeah, so that's another reason, in my opinion, he should definitely, hear what Unc has to say to him, because when the goats, the Unks reach out to you, when you talk to Ray Lewis's, because even Ray Lewis at the age 34, let's not forget, y'all, he did test the market as well for the Ravens, but I mean, eventually they worked it out.
And don't forget, Deion was a Raven.
That too. That
He knows
too.
the organization.
So I mean, a lot of things could be played into factor, man. And you know, everybody's probably, you know, I know a lot of people are talking about his mother being the agent, or you know, his his business partner, you know, going out there supposedly speaking on other teams on his behalf and stuff like that. Don't think Lamar don't have, you know, some good people around trying to give him advice. You know, right now, let's not keep on trying to demonize him. Let's try to support him and whatever decision he makes, whether he's a Raven or not next year.
Yeah, and we're gonna see what happens. You know,